Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunnavadi Paschata Deshatarine Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari, Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari, Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Giridharadhari, Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Giridharadhari, Jashodanandana Jaya Braja Janarandana, Jashoda Nandana Jaya Braja Janarandana, Jamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Jamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Gurudev, Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Gaura Pramanande, Hari Hari Om. Jayam Vishnupada Param Sri Bhajacharya Stutala Sadasi Sima Sila Bhai Charna Ravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. ISKCON BBT Founder Acharya His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Ananta Kodi Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai. Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Samakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan ki Jai. Vrindavan Matara Dham ki Jai. मायापुर नवोदित धाम की जय, जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय, आलाचवानी रमणीति धाम की जय, वेडनेसडे भगवद गीता क्लास की जय, भगवद गीता श्रोता भक्ति भक्त बिंद की जय, समवेत वैष्णव बिंद की जय, निताय गौर प्रमानंदे हरि हरि। All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Sri Guru and Gaurang, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, Prabhus and mothers, please join together. We are going to offer our heart in a form of flower at the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada and the Guru Parampara all the way to Sri Radha Krishna. Om Jnanati Mirandasa Gnanjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namo. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Shapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Jutapada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanitam Tam Sajivam Sadaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakanitamscha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunnavadi Paschata Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhasya Kripa Sindhubhaya Patitanam Pavanebho Vaishnavebho Namo Namo Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Binda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, Prabhus and Mothers, we are serving Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, called Dhyana Yoga, Yoga of meditation. Dhyana Yoga could be process of meditation, as you understand. Srila Prabhupada writes Dhyana Yoga. So today's I think the beginning, we discussed that this chapter are divided into few categories according to what we can understand or comprehend. So first is that sloka 1 to 9, if you focus on the process that one go through by which he can renounce the world. Now you may be thinking like, I don't own the world. How can I renounce something I don't own? Yes, we don't own the world, but we have an attachment to the world. So when this chapter discussing that renounce the world means 3 ways, and then today we'll discuss what are the 3 ways we can renounce. While we are in this body, we can renounce in such a way that we will be in the spiritual domain at the same time physically we are present in this body here. So that's called true Krishna conscious liberation. Even though liberation is not our goal, but we can see how Srila Prabhupada explains. And then from 10 to 32, it begins with the practice to perfection in yoga. Of course, there is a breakdown given. There is a Brahman realization, 10 to 15, 5 slokas. Then 16 to 23, realization of Paramatma. Then 24 to 32, realization of Bhagavan. So we are still in the beginning stage, how to renounce the world. And we have done on the first sloka, second sloka. And I'm going to just touch base on the second sloka where we left. And we are going to begin from third sloka today. So I hope you all have a Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, second sloka, just little bit, touch where we left, and then we'll begin from third sloka. So we'll join together with folded hand 3 times. Together we can chant. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritam Naranjaiva Narottamam Devim Sarasatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayat Nasta Prayesu Abhadresu Nittam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. So the text 2, Jam Sannasam iti prahu Jogam tam vidhi pandava nahi asannasto sankalpo yogi bhavanti kaschana. Would somebody like to read the translation and purport from the audience? Someone has Bhagavad Gita? If not, I'll continue. Okay. So translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. What is called renunciation is the same as yoga, or linking oneself with the Supreme. For one can become a yogi unless he renounces the desire for sense gratification. Purport. Real sannyas yoga or bhakti means that one should know his constitutional position as the living entity and act accordingly. The living entity has no separate independent identity. He is marginal energy of the Supreme. This is a very interesting line. So let's see. Okay, just one second. My computer all of a sudden went off. Okay. I have the book. I'll just use that. So that interestingly, how Prabhupada put this, that living entity has no separate independent identity. That reminded me that somebody actually asked, Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. That Krishna is complete, and he's so complete and such a way of completeness he has that anything emanates from him also complete. He remains complete. So then this devotee asks that, are we complete? We come from Krishna? Yes, we are complete. Then why do we need Krishna to be complete? And then Bhakti Yoga is adapted as a purification. If from complete everything comes complete, then how is require or need to feel like incomplete? So I'm going to address this and then we'll continue the purport. Yes, the Atma, the soul is complete. But there are different kinds of completeness. There's a difference between Krishna's completeness and our completeness. Krishna is independently complete. Can we all remember this? Krishna is independently complete, but we are not independently complete. That is the key point. We are dependently complete. So what is dependently complete? You may think, if we consider our hand as an example, our hand is perfectly equipped for full functioning as a hand. I'm moving my hand, you can see. So for gripping something, touching something, writing something, this hand is complete as a hand. What hand is supposed to do? But if the hand cut off from the body, then it cannot function. Even though one sense it is complete, but when it is not connected with the body, it cannot write, it cannot grab, it cannot touch. Why? Because the functionality and the utility of the hand is dependent on its connectedness with the body. As long the hand, Prabhupada says, connected with the body, then hand is complete by itself. Similarly, although we are complete as an individual soul, but we are not independently complete. Our completeness is dependent completeness. In other words, our completeness is dependent completeness. That we should remember. Since we are dependent on Krishna to be complete, when we imagine that we can be complete with something else other than Krishna, such thought is impurity. So that is called bhakti, need to purify. What is bhakti purifying? That impurities. The essence of impurity is to think that there is a substitute to Krishna, that we can find love, satisfaction, or fulfillment through anything other than Krishna. And this impurity, sometimes such a thick layer, we don't even feel like, I don't feel any like a relation with Krishna. How is that we are eternally dependent, but we don't have any feeling, we don't have any clue? Yes, because exploiting in this material world since time immemorial, the contamination or impurities have taken so many layers. So we don't feel, there is no connection. But as soon through bhakti, by chanting, by hearing Bhagavad Gita, understanding our relationship, we go deeper down to the soul level. We pierce through our consciousness connecting us. Consciousness connect us from the soul, the Atma, from the soul consciousness, through the consciousness, coming through the mind, then connecting to the physical world, physical body. When it is redirect, comes back, that time we will see that nothing can nothing can replace the longing we have. Innate, it's our innate nature. We have a natural love, natural feeling, natural longing for Krishna in our constitutional level. So bhakti means in the beginning we have to go deeper, because the soul is inside the body. Soul is not the body. So we have to go deeper. Deeper means when we go to deeper, then at that level, we will see actually we have a longing for Krishna. So purification simply means we redirect our love toward Krishna. When we redirect our love toward Krishna, we become connected with Krishna. Then our dependence to him will be revealed. And then we'll realize our completeness. Does everybody understand that point? Are we complete or not complete? Somebody would like to reflect one line? Hare Krishna Mata, nice to see you.
Nice to see you. We are complete in the sense that we are part and parcel of Krishna, but we are incomplete because we have to get energy and everything from Krishna to be complete.
Good understanding. Thank you. So what she said, that our completeness will be proven when we are reconnect with Krishna. So the idea is we should remember that we are not independently complete. Krishna is independently complete. Our completeness is dependent completeness. We will never be independently completeness. Will never. There is no such thing. As long as we understand that, then there is no problem. Okay. With that note, we are going to continue Srila Prabhupada's purport. Then Prabhupada writes, when he is entrapped by material energy, his condition, when he is Krishna conscious or aware of the spiritual energy, then he is in his real and natural state of life. Therefore, when one is in complete knowledge, one ceases all material sense gratification or renounces all kinds of sense gratification activity, sense gratificatory activities. That is practiced by the yogis who restrain the senses from material attachment. But a person in Krishna consciousness has no opportunity to engage his senses in anything which is not for the purpose of Krishna. Therefore, a Krishna conscious person is simultaneously a sannyasi and a yogi. The purpose of knowledge and of restraining the senses as prescribed in the Jnana and Yoga process is automatically served in Krishna consciousness. If one is able to give up the activities of his selfish nature, then Jnana and Yoga are of no avail. The real aim is for living entities to give up all selfish satisfaction, to be prepared to satisfy the Supreme. A Krishna conscious person has no desire for any kind of self-enjoyment. He is always engaged for the enjoyment of the Supreme. One who has no information of the Supreme must therefore be engaged in self-satisfaction, because no one can stand on the platform of inactivity. So it's interesting. All these purposes are perfectly served by the practice of Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Very nice. So what Srila Prabhupada says, I'm paraphrasing, that whenever we do not want to serve Krishna, if there is a time or when we decided, then we will not be inactive. We'll still be active, but we'll be active for ourselves, not for Krishna. So that apathy to devotional service is the root cause of everything. Apathy to devotional service is the root cause of our impersonalism, lonely feeling, distress, depressed. You can go on with the list of all the things started from that point. Okay. So text 3. Text 3, we are going to read. Unless somebody want to read text 3.
Can I read?
Okay.
I can read.
Okay, Mata, go ahead.
Arulukule yogam karma karanam uchyate yogarudasya tasyeva sama karanam uchyate. Should I read the synonyms also?
You can read synonyms. Very nice.
Arulukosha, who has just begun yoga. Mune of the sage. Yogam, the eightfold yoga system. Karma, work. Karanam, the means. Uchyate is said to be yoga, eightfold yoga. Arudasya, of one who has attained. Tasya, his, eva, certainly. Shama, cessation of all material activities. Karanam, the means. Uchyate is said to be. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. For one who is a neophyte in the eightfold yoga system, work is said to be the means. And for one who is already elevated in yoga, cessation of all material activity is to be the means. purport. The process of linking oneself with Supreme is called yoga. It may be compared to a ladder for attaining the topmost spiritual realization. This ladder begins from the lowest material condition of the living entity and rises up to perfect self-realization in pure spiritual life. According to various elevations, different parts of the ladder are known by different names. But all in all, the complete ladder is called yoga and may be divided into three parts, namely Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga. The beginning of the ladder is called the Yoga Rukshu stage, and the highest rung is called Yoga Rukshu. Concerning the Eightfold Yoga system, attempts in the beginning to enter into meditation through regulative principles of life and practice of different sitting postures, which are more or less bodily exercises, are considered fruitive material activities. All such activities lead to achieving perfect mental equilibrium to control the senses. When one is accomplished in the practice of meditation, he ceases all disturbing mental activities. A Krishna conscious person, however, is situated from the beginning on the platform of meditation because he always thinks of Krishna and being constantly engaged in the service of Krishna. He is considered to have ceased all material activities.
Very good. Thank you. So you created some question on this. What is the yoga ladder? So I'm going to discuss few minutes on those words. Aroraksha means one who is beginning to climb. In Sanskrit, Arora means climbing tree or climbing mountain, like that. Arora. Aroraksha, one who is beginning to climb. Muner Yogam, when one is in beginning stage of yoga at that time. Karma karanam uchyate. Karma is the cause. Cause of what? Karma is the cause of one's progress, one's spiritual advancement. When one is advanced in yoga, that's called yogaradhasya tashyeva. What is the cause at that time? Shama karana uchyate. Shama is inactivity, calmness, cessation of activity. So now Sri Krishna is saying, yes, there is a stage when one has to renounce activities, but that is advanced stage. And he's giving a structure first in Arura stage, work itself is advancement. Then Yogaradhasya, stage cessation of work will lead to advancement. Now, Srila Prabhupada in the purport, Mother just read, all such activity lead to achieving perfection, mental equilibrium to control the senses. When one is accomplished in the practice of meditation, he ceases all disturbing mental activities. So how to understand that? Very nice. Very nice purport. So first we regulate our physical activity through yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, like that. This can be practiced even while someone is in the world, doing activities in the world. But once we go to the level of pratyahara, which means leaving sense objects, then one cannot live in the world. He renounces the world and focuses on turning inward, then comes. Everybody understand that? So up to jama, niyama, what to follow, what not to follow. Asana, means you sit on a yoga posture to chant. Pranayam, as a devotee, do we do pranayam? Yes, we do. We are not familiar. Srila Prabhupada said the best yoga you can do when you are chanting and dancing, that's the best. You are not even aware that you're breathing, are you? When you are chanting, dancing, when you are sitting in the temple and chanting, are you aware that you are breathing or not breathing? No. You just go with it. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. We are not familiar whether we should pay attention, whether we breathe or not breathe. It's not important. That's why Prabhupada made that point. So when we chant, the pranayam also, but after pranayam, it's called pratyahar. Pratyahar means you try to absorb in your chanting. You put attention. That time you withdraw your senses from sense objects. How do you withdraw? You concentrate inside your body. You just halfway eye close, you're chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. You are hearing. You don't even know where you are sitting. You're not concerned where you're sitting or not. You are just going inward. This is very important. When you go inward, then you do dharana, dhyana, samadhi. Dharana, dhyana, samadhi, which are other progressive stage in which one goes inward and ultimately perceives super soul in the heart. So the initial 4 stages one can practice doing karma, also doing karma yoga. These are aruruksh stage, what Prabhupada put in the purport. So next 4 involves a person raising to arudha stage. Now you may say, oh, these are very technical. No, it's not really technical. You are doing it, you are not aware of it. That's all. Bhagavad Gita is just giving you indication when you sit on a chanting in your temple or in your house, in the couch or anywhere. This is what we do. But if we pay attention, what we are doing, we will get the higher result than we are just keep on doing. That's all. So Sri Krishna focus is on person. Same person is a sannyasi and yogi. Now, in one sense, we think sannyas means saffron cloth, give up the family life. That's not what it says. If you read some of the Prabhupada's letter, he told to Hansudut Maharaj that all these devotees, Shivananda Sen Prabhu in Germany and all that, they are grihasthas. He said, you are not less than sannyasi. Now, what does that mean? They are above sannyasi or they are, what is sannyasi means then? Is it giving up family life, wearing saffron? No, that's not what Prabhupada meant. That's why these verses has to be understood very nicely. Sannyas means you are withdrawing senses from the sense object. That's all. You are detached from the matter. When you're detached from the matter, where do you go? Attached to Krishna. So yogi means attaching to Krishna and sannyasi means detaching from the matter. So in one sense, both are same. If somebody say, I am in Vrindavan, if somebody say, I am nowhere except with Krishna, it's the same, he's in Vrindavan. So whether somebody takes sannyas means detaching from matter and yogi means attaching to Krishna. So detaching from matter, then where are you? You cannot be anywhere else beside this matter, only with Krishna. So ultimately both are same. Everybody understanding my point? Sannyas and yoga, both are same. One is attachment to Krishna, one is detachment from the matter. Sri Krishna's focus on the path. What is Sri Krishna's focus? Both sannyas and yoga requires a common denominator. There is something required for authentic sannyas. an authentic yoga. That is sannyas, because you will hear some verses that if you are not a sannyasi, you cannot be liberated. Or does it mean you have to give up your family life and take a saffron cloth? No, that's not what it meant. It meant that you detach from the matter. That's all it meant. So we have to be familiar with, these are called advanced understanding of what sannyas means. Like another definition Prabhupada gave one lecture, which I liked a lot. He said, renunciation means a result of genuine spiritual emotion. Now, result of genuine spiritual emotion is for who? By who? By the lady body, or a child body, or a grown-up man, or a sannyasi? Who? Could be anybody. Anybody is advanced, attached to Krishna. They have an emotion. They are detecting their emotion directed towards Krishna. They are, Prabhupada said, as a real renounce. So we have to understand every way Prabhupada explaining. Prabhupada said many things, but we have to reconcile to understand where we are and how to understand. Otherwise, doubt will arrive. So in this way, by giving specific example, then taking about the general path, Sri Krishna makes the point how sannyas and yoga are identical. Can one from the audience explain me? Did you understand what is the meaning of sannyas? What is the meaning of yoga in this chapter? Not anywhere else what Prabhupada said. Just here on that sloka. Somebody?
I can try.
Okay, Mother Puja from Canada?
Yes, from Toronto.
Okay, Toronto. Thank you. Nice to see you.
Nice to be here as well. What I understand is that real renunciation is not about leaving the family or wearing specific clothes, but it is more about detaching the senses from the object or from the object of pleasure.
Yeah, you can be more specific. Matter.
Okay.
Yeah. Because when we offer a banana to Krishna, it's no more matter, it's spiritualized. So matter, you can say, is very specific, very good. And yoga means? You gave a nice explanation on sannyas. What is yoga means?
Yoga is
Just the opposite. Attachment to?
Material matter.
No,
matter.
Krishna.
Oh.
So sannyas means detached from the matter, and yoga means attached to Krishna. Both are same.
Yes. Okay.
Can you see? Both are actually same.
Yes.
But it doesn't sound like same. Because one is detached, one is attached. But attached to Krishna, you cannot be attached to Krishna when you are not detached from the matter. And also you cannot say you are detached from matter and not be attached to Krishna. Because soul has to be active always. Soul cannot be inactive. Okay, that's very nice. Thank you, Mother Puja. So we are going to discuss few more points on this sloka. Pratyahar, dhyana, dharana, samadhi. So in yoga system, they have 8 sequence practice that they do. Jama, niyama, what to do, what not to do. Asana means posture, a proper place to sit. Pranayama, breathing exercise. Jan, these are called yoga ruruksha. In the translation, in the purport, Prabhupada use those words. And then he also used the word yoga rudha. Now I'm going to say yoga rudha is the next 8. Pratyahara, dhyana, dharana, samadhi. So just to break down, those are very important. You may say like, do we really need to understand those? Actually, we are doing this. I'm repeating the same thing. We're just not familiar. So above the 8 stages of process in Ashtanga Yoga, in a sense, these 8 rules are applicable in all process. Like Jama, what to do, not to do, Niyama are rules for individual discipline, spiritual discipline. The Jama and Niyama are sometimes referred to do's and don'ts. So do this, don't do this, Jama Niyama. Sometimes it refers, do we follow this? Yes. We don't want to, we have 4 ranks, regulatory principle. No eating meat, fish, eggs, and like this. We have 4, so we don't do this. And we do this. We worship, we chant. So these are same as this. Jama Niyama is not for some yogi in Himalaya. It is for us. We are doing it. That's why Prabhupada put those. Sometimes it also refers that how we regulate our individuality, individual life, how we regulate ourselves collectively. So both way, the important point is we regulate ourselves. Can we all agree that actually in our devotional life, we regulate our life? We get up early, we chant, we don't look at the meat products when in the restaurant they serve. We just withdraw ourselves, no attachment, not even thinking, not even looking more than necessary. So this is, and then comes asana. Then is asana. What is asana? Asana means yogi sit in a particular position, asana, which helps. Like when you chant, like right now I'm sitting. Now, if I sit like a little crooked, it will be difficult to speak or do something. But we sit on a comfortable little chair I have here. I'm sitting and it's comfortable. So that's called asana. When you chant, you want to sit whether couch or bed or a seat on the floor somewhere, that's called asana. It's comfortable. And I'm sure some of you probably heard that, one chanting Japote Prabhupada said, sit properly. Sit properly is required. It is necessary. Then you can concentrate more. So now we'll go to the next. Yoga Rudha. Here, pratyahar, ahar means food. I'm sure some of you are familiar with that word, ahar. Ahar means food. Pardi means opposite. Prati ahar, pratyahara, prati ahara. Ahara means food and prati means opposite. So opposite to the food, that means all the senses, they want some food. Eye want to see, ear want to hear, tongue want to taste. These are called ahar. Everybody is familiar? Not just the food, rice, dal. I'm not talking about that. Means the sense object, means whatever senses we have, knowledge acquiring senses, active senses, they are looking for their sense object. This is called, and prati means opposite, means you restrain them. Because they want food, the eyes want to see, say no more looking at that. Like one devotee said, chanting time, looking at the iPhone. Who called? Who didn't call yet? Why? So am I serving the holy name, or am I because my mind or my eye wants to go there? These are called pratyahar. So do we need pratyahar, or is only for the yogi? Somebody help me. Do we need pratyahar?
Yes.
Very good. Why? Explain me, mother.
So that way, if we eat more than necessary, then we cannot do the, when we start to chant, we fall asleep.
Very good. Very good. So here also pratyahar means 2 things. Very good. What you explain? Pratyahar means any sense object. Not only food, anything. Like looking at the iPhone means we have to discipline. Then it will be pratyahar. So we need also pratyahar. Very good. Next is dharana dhyana samadhi. So Krishna is saying when one is yoga ruruksha, he will work with the external world. But after that, one will stop working in external work. Start focusing inner involvement. At that time, outer activities will stop. Which means even the yogis in jungle will do some activities like eating, bathing, these things, even in the forest, or even Holidham, they do almost like a forest. But here, giving up work means not doing duties based on varnashram. System like person is a brahmana, he will not do jajan, paton. Instead, he will focus on Krishna or study, chanting like this. That's all. Okay, that ends the text 3. Now we are going to do text 4. Anybody else would like to read beside, let's see who is there. Mother Rohini, would you like to read text 4? Okay. Mother Puja, would you like to read? Do you have Bhagavad Gita with you? That's the question though. Okay, perhaps you may not have. I'm going to read the sloka, text 4. Jada hi na indriyartheshu na karmasu anusajjate sarva sankalpa sannasi yogarudhas taducchate. Synonyms. Jada, when, he certainly, no, not, indriyartheshu, in sense gratification, no, never, karmashu, in fruitive activity, anusajjate, does necessarily engage, sarva sankalpa, all material desire, sannasi, renouncer, yoga, arudha, elevated in yoga. See, that word is coming again on the next sloka. Yoga arudha, Krishna said that. Tada, at that time, uchyate, is said to be. Translation: a person is said to have attained to yoga when having renounced all material desire. He neither acts for material sense gratification, nor engage in fruitive activities. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. When a person is fully engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, he is pleased in himself. And thus, he is no longer engaged in sense gratification or in fruitive activities. Otherwise, one must be engaged in sense gratification, since one cannot live without engagement. Without Krishna consciousness, one must be always seeking self-centered or extended selfish activities. Okay, I'm going to stop here. I hope we all understood this point. Very nice. Soul has to be always active. Even when you are sleeping, you are having dream or the soul is active. Maybe not physically, but in subtle realm. You are always active. Soul is never inactive. To merge, that's why to merge or not to do is actually against the nature of the soul. So now Prabhupada making a very nice point in this purport, and I'm sure you all caught it. One is, either we be active for pleasing Krishna or we'll be active for ourselves. That choice we make. But you have to be active. Is that clear? Somebody can reflect that to me. Can one of you please just paraphrase what you got it? This is very important. Those little things. Soul is active eternally. Whether he is in spiritual world or material world, soul is eternally active. Either we are active in Krishna's service or we will be active in our own service. We cannot be inactive. Okay, that's clear. Then next, but a Krishna conscious person can do everything for the satisfaction of Krishna, thereby be perfectly detached from sense gratification. One who has no such realization must mechanically try to escape material desire before being elevated to the top rung of yoga ladder. Okay. So we made few questions on this, and I'm going to explain this. In other words, I'm going to just paraphrase the whole purport into, and I hope someone from here can reflect me. Three characters are described in this purport from the sloka. One is that either you are engaging in sense gratification, just like a person is watching movie, person is cooking for himself or for the family, not for Krishna. They are called engaged in sense gratification. Sense gratification will give them a reaction. Reaction means suffering in that sense. So they are engaged. And some are not engaged in sense gratification, but they are desiring. I want to get married. I want to buy a big house. I want to open a shop. I want to do this. I want to do that. They are desiring. So one is engaged. Another group is desiring. And the third group is not pursuing sense gratification. So these are the three characters given in this purport or in this, from this sloka. That give up internally desire for sense gratification. Now you may say, how one can give up? In his consciousness, he said, no, I'm going to do everything for Krishna. For me, nothing. Like Prabhupada said, I had a one principle. Everything for Krishna, nothing for me. Whether I eat, I sleep for Krishna. So tomorrow morning, this body can help me to do service. I'm going to go to bathroom for Krishna. So this body will not smell bad. Everything I do for Krishna. So that's one category, or third category you can say. Second category is they are planning for fruity work, future they are going to do. What is wrong with the fruity work? It will lead to sense gratification. And the third and the first category is they are already in the sense gratification. So these are the three categories. I hope everybody got it. Can somebody reflect me? What are the three categories in sloka text 4 explained?
So one category is you are in the sense gratification. The second one is when you're planning for the future, which will then lead to sense gratification. And the third one is when you're detached, and everything, every action you do, even if it's sleeping, eating, cooking, is all for Krishna.
Good. Even going to work and job, school, very good. So who is the third category that for Krishna? Those are the devotees. And the other two categories are the karmis here in this world, are two categories. Very good. That's the summary of that sloka, if you just remember that. Is that helpful, like this way, understanding quickly?
Yes.
Yes, good. Okay, text 5. Would somebody like to read?
Prabhu, I have one question.
Oh, Balaram Prabhu from, oh my God, you are from Europe. It's too late.
Switzerland. Hare
Switzerland.
Krishna.
You are too late,
Yes.
Prabhu.
Yes. Good time. The change is whether you are engaging your senses in one way or another, you always have to be engaged. But ultimately, it's about the mentality, whether you do it for yourself or Krishna. Externally, it looks the same. So where is that change happening, whether you are doing it for yourself or Krishna?
It's in the consciousness, not the activities. It is the
Yes, but
intention behind the activities, consciousness behind the action.
But when does the change happen?
From the when you are accepting Krishna consciousness under guidance and you are acting on that platform, that slowly purification take place. Because purification means you have taken a vow to actually please the Lord. That intention itself, when it involves with any activity you do with that intention, it's purifying. And Krishna accept that on that. It's very interesting that we don't need to be perfect to please Krishna. Rather, Krishna is already happy seeing us inspired how we are dealing with our imperfection. It makes sense? Krishna is not waiting for us to become perfect, so he will accept our offerings. Krishna is actually happy just seeing that how we are dealing with our imperfection. Are we trying to purify? That's all. Because in a moment he can completely make us pure. But he is interested to see how we are dealing. Are we praying, oh my Lord, I'm sorry, please accept it, I don't have a devotion. When he sees that we are trying, that attracts Krishna. That's why they say these great personalities, great devotees are not born from the parents, but they are born or they attract Krishna by the choice they make. The way they pray, their humble, submissive prayers, that attracts Krishna actually a lot. Is that okay, Prabhu? Balaram Prabhu?
Thank you.
Thank you. Nice to hear from you. Sorry that late you are still. Thank you. Okay. So we are on text 5. Somebody would like to read?
Should I read the translation or?
Sure. First, let's do the sloka together, everybody. We don't have to repeat, just we can do together. Uddharet atmana atmanam natma nam avasadayet atmaiva hi atmano bandhur atmaiva ripur atmanaha. Okay, you can read the translation and purport, Mother.
Okay. One must deliver himself with the help of his mind and not degrade himself. The mind is the friend of the conditioned soul and his enemy as well. Purport. The word Atma denotes body, mind, and soul, depending upon different circumstances. In the yoga system, the mind and the conditioned soul are especially important. Since the mind is the central point of yoga practice, Atma refers here to the mind. The purpose of the yoga system is to control the mind and to draw it away from attachment to sense objects. It is stressed herein that the mind must be so trained that it can deliver the conditioned soul from the mirror of nescience. In material existence, one is subjected to the influence of the mind and the senses. In fact, the pure soul is entangled in the material world because the mind is involved with the false ego, which desires to lord it, it over material nature. Therefore, the mind should be trained so that it will not be attracted by the glitter of material nature, and in this way, the conditioned soul may be saved. One should not degrade oneself by attraction to sense objects. The more one is attracted by sense objects, the more one becomes entangled in material existence. The best way to disentangle oneself is to always engage the mind in Krishna consciousness. The word he is used for emphasizing the point, i.e., that one must do this. I continue.
There is more. Yes.
It is also said, I'm not sure I can pronounce
Okay.
this.
Okay. Let's wait for 1 minute. Now, this is a very interesting point. You just read in the beginning of the paragraph, Mother. Prabhupada said Atma refers here to the mind. And Prabhupada gives a good logic. Atma refers three things: body, mind, and soul. But here Prabhupada said Atma refers to the mind. Why? And he gives such a good logic. Isn't so cool? Now, if you think about yourself or myself or any one of us, we have a very unique situation. The soul is here. Next to the soul is not the body. What is next to the soul? What is connecting to the soul? Is the body, this physical body is connected to the soul directly? No.
Mind.
Yes. Mind is connected with the soul. Everybody understand that? Mind is connecting with the soul. Mind is also connecting with the physical body. See, in other words, even I'm speaking, but I'm speaking, the soul is desiring to speak. But when I'm desiring to speak, I'm speaking through the mind and then using the tongue, palate, teeth all together. The demigod is arranging. So the body is not directly connected with the soul. Body is connected with the mind and mind is connected with the body. You can say mind is in the middle, has both side connection. So purifying mind means it will be pure, both side. This is such a good logic Prabhupada used. Okay, then we'll continue the rest of the purport and then we'll discuss that a little more. We're going to recite the sloka all together. Mana eva manishyanam karana bandhana mukshaya bandhaya visaya sangha mukte nirvisaya mana. You can read the translation, Mother.
Yes. For man, mind is the cause of bondage and mind is the cause of liberation. Mind absorbed in sense objects is the cause of bondage, and mind detached from the sense objects is the cause of liberation. Therefore, the mind which is always engaged in Krishna consciousness is the cause of supreme liberation.
So now, very nice purport. Now, if you put that logic, so mind in the middle between who? Mind is in the middle of between who?
Body and soul.
Very good. So if mind is pure, then body is automatically pure and soul is pure. If the mind is impure, then the soul is still in that conditional stage and body is also impure. Physically, I have tilak, I have a shaved head, I have a sika, I have a neck beads. Physically, I am devotee. I'm done. Physically, I'm pure devotee. Because all the pure devotee has same Sika, man's body with the neck beads, tilakam in the body. But my mind is not Krishna conscious. I'm not pure. Everybody understanding why? Because it is connecting both sides. So now let's try to understand this. In the context of this verse, the focus is on the yogi. Yogi, who are the yogi? You. Each of us are the yogi. Instead of devotee, Krishna used the word yoga. So yogi is who is trying to renounce the world. What did we say about renouncing before? Mother Puja mentioned, detach from the matter. Renouncing doesn't mean give up the family life or wearing saffron. Means detaching from the matter. And what is attaching? So for an example, let's see. This is cell phone. Is it a matter or spirit? Is it spiritual or material?
Material.
It is material, product of material. Now, if I use this phone for Krishna's service, it is no more material. It is spiritual. Can you see that?
Yes.
It's called application sense, utilization. The cell phone is made of material elements. But if I use this for Krishna service, it is spiritualized, is no more material. So this is where the key point here, that focus is on the yogis who is trying to renounce the world, means detach from the matter. Focus inward. When you think of Krishna, what does that mean? Thinking of Krishna. Inward. It is inside this body that I can think, therefore I am. I am aware Krishna is the Supreme Lord. Where? In the physical body? No, it's inward. Can you relate to that, what I'm trying to say? So it's inward. Generally, we see that if we are physically engaged, the mind is also engaged. It is not necessary, but it is conducive. If we sit on one place and not doing anything physically, then what happens? The mind becomes idle. Anybody has any experience of that? Sure. In the conditioned stage, the mind is very much connected to the body. That means where we are physically, that largely drives where we will mentally. So if we are physically engaged in the sense object, then mind also excited about sense object. Just like this devotee told me, I won't say the name because some of you may know. In Alacho, I said, how do you get up so early? I'm trying to get up even on time, 4 o'clock, not even early. I'm missing almost 5 days a week, 6 days a week. I said, why are you asking me? Are you asking that how you want to do it, or why are you asking such a incomplete question? He said, yes, I want to know. I said, what do you do before you go to sleep? He said, I just check the Facebook very quick, 10 minutes. I said, Facebook is not something Sattvagun. Facebook is mostly Rajagun creation, some kind of alluring. News, whatever it is, good or bad, but news. It's better if you have a Srila Prabhupada's tape or something that you have a control on it, because Facebook, you don't have a control. So it's better. He said, that's the problem. When I look at the Facebook, 10 minutes, then it becomes 1 hour. And then I realize it's 2 o'clock. By the time I go to sleep, I cannot get up till 7, 8. So this is where the reality checks in. That conditioned stage, mind is very much connected to the sense object. Wherever we are physically, we are also there mentally. In other words, where we are mentally, also physically. If I tell you, oh, I'm going to be a doctor, I want to be a doctor, I'm going to go to medical school. After 5 years, I meet you and I tell you the same thing. After 10 years I meet you, I tell you the same thing. So he doesn't want to be a doctor. He would have gone to the medical school and finished. So the idea is that what we are actually contemplating, where mind is focused, physical body is focused. If mind is not there, physical body will not be there. That's how the mind is controlling the physical. They are interconnected. So this verse is talking about connection between the mind and the soul. The mind can be as a friend of the soul. Mind can act as an enemy of the soul. How can we understand this relationship? So I'm going to speak few minutes on this. Suppose I'm sitting in a dark room and there are 3 doors in it, because that's what this house says. I can open only one door at a time. When I open a door, it shows a different pathway to the outer world. So the door to the consciousness is the mind. Everybody grasping that? The door to the consciousness is the mind. We perceive the outer world through the mind. Door to the outer world is mind. So wherever the door is open, if it's the back door, side door, or front door, that is the reality we perceive. Our reality becomes blind. I mean, other reality. So if I open the front door, what happened? The back side or side view is all blocked because I'm looking in the front. So wherever our door opens, that's where we are seeing it. For an example, there is the soul. Soul is covered by 3 modes. Soul also has access on spiritual world. You decide where you want to go. You are sleeping, all of a sudden, the consciousness from the soul connecting to the physical world, you cannot fall asleep at that time. Now, if the consciousness transcends from the physical to the subtle, then you fall asleep, but in the dream. You are in the dream. Now, if the consciousness going from the soul through the physical to the mental, it transcends that, it went to the tamogun. Sattvagun, rajagun, tamagun. Sattva means wake, raja means dream, and tamo means you got a deep sleep. You're not even aware that you are like a snoring sleep or deep sleep. And after you woke up, you say, oh, I had a good sleep. No, you are in tamagun at that time. But the same consciousness can connect also to the spiritual. And they all filter through the mind. That's the point. So the door to the consciousness is the mind. Everybody understand that? We perceive the outer world through the mind. So door to the outer world is the mind. So whatever door is open, you see that reality. When a materialistic person comes to the temple, the door of their mind open to only what? Do you know what happened when the materialistic, gross materialistic person comes to temple? Oh, nice, expensive marble floor. That's what they think. Expensive marble floor. Oh, good looking. All this man and woman, very attractive face. They are not seeing as a devotee. They see how beautiful, handsome looking the boys and girls in the temple. Then they see some painting. Oh, it's nice painting. Some nice artist did the painting. They are not even thinking Mahaprabhu's painting. Everybody understand? Because they are, the door to the consciousness is the mind. Their consciousness, that's how perceive or reach the object. Okay. So these materialistic people, they can only see materialistic things Why? Around they do not see spiritual thing at all practically. A good example, like Prabhupada went to Detroit temple. I mean, there was no temple, Fisher mentioned, just a negotiation. They want to buy. And people almost, the seller and the realtor almost had a heart attack when Prabhupada made an offer. He didn't offer anything. He said, we are, beggar, saint people. We are trying to distribute God consciousness. Why don't you give it free? The realtor was like a shock. He came to give us some proposal and some down payment. Instead, Prabhupada asked for free. But that's Prabhupada. And we got it actually way down. But anyway, the point was, when Prabhupada was looking in that Fisher mansion, there was a big painting. Some sannyasis saw it. Ooh, they are like thinking like they want to be with Prabhupada. But Prabhupada is looking at the painting, and the painting is nothing but a naked, beautiful artist painted it, a naked boy and girl. And Prabhupada staring at it, after some time he says, Krishna is so intelligent. How he gave the intelligence to that artist that who painted so beautiful. So did Prabhupada see the naked? No, he saw Krishna there. But the sannyasis, they are kind of nervous. One sannyasi literally told us that I didn't know what to do. I want to be with Prabhupada, but I cannot look at the painting because I'm just so grossly attached of thinking what this painting. But later on realized Prabhupada was not even looking at the naked scene. He's looking at the artistic, expert, intelligent, how Krishna gave him to draw each part of the body so beautiful. That was spiritual vision. So if we learn that art, we can apply in our own life and get purified. Anything we see, we can see Krishna connected. So I'll end with this. And then tomorrow, next week, we'll take from here. What somebody understood from this part where I stopped? Somebody can tell me one paraphrase? Everybody understood that part, right? The mind is in the middle between the soul and gross body. Mind is connecting soul, also the gross body. In order to become pure devotee, the mind has to be pure. If mind has a material impression, it will show only material. But you have an ability, you have a choice. You can guide the mind, not by your own. Do not ever do that, but with the higher authority, like knowledge. Krishna gives you knowledge. Gurudev gives you knowledge. Prabhupada says so many things. So remember those, and they, higher source, you can have mind guided by them. Then it is spiritual. Otherwise, mind will automatically take you to material. And that will be the end of today. So any question or further reflection?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. This is Mohit.
Oh, Mohit Prabhu from Chicago.
Yes, that's correct, Prabhu.
Wow.
Thank you so much for your wonderful class. Here's something that I've always struggled with. I understand theoretically what it means to engage, want, or do everything for Krishna. But practically speaking, I'm not I'm not so good at it. And one of the ways is, like, for example, like when somebody goes to buy a car, you know, how do you make that, you know, for Krishna? When, you know, you're buying a car, you're like, oh, you know, this would be nice to have, is this, you know, this button can do this, or this feature. How can we, you know, realistically, we can probably justify it and say, oh yeah, you know, the car is used to go to the temple, so, you know, blah, blah, you know, that's going to be, it's Krishna conscious. but realistically, it's you, deep down in my heart, at least. So how can you totally offer everything to Krishna or do everything for Krishna when our natural propensity is to enjoy?
Well, I'm thinking of you. I remember whenever you come to visit us here in Alachua, you are there in Mangalarti and you are there for Guru Puja. So you, deep down in your heart, you are progressing in spiritual path. Your life you are giving for Krishna. So when you are giving the life to Krishna, whatever you do, it's part of Krishna consciousness. That's one way to look at it. For your house to the temple, you could not just walk and be there on time Mangalarti. By the way, just to let you know, we have probably the coldest time today, this morning. It was very cold. And the problem was that, not a problem, but it was very fun that we have to leave the door open because of the COVID. So my point is that there are three types of people in this world. One type of people, they are having a having list. If I have this, then I'll do this, then I'll become happy. And then there is a doing list. If I do this, then I'll have this, then I'll be happy. And the devotees are happy because they are actually intentionally, they want to become pure devotee. Ask honestly, deep down in your heart, don't you want to be pure devotee? Please just tell me honestly. Ask me, I'll tell you yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, you want to be pure devotee. Your father-in-law is such a close devotee of Prabhupada. He has so much relationship with Prabhupada. He was Prabhupada's servant, secretary, so many things. So I look at you that you have a genuine interest to please Krishna, genuine interest to please Prabhupada, and you are giving your life. So buying a car for who? For you. So you can go to the job, working or grocery shopping or whatever reason, going to temple. It's all for the Krishna conscious family. And your wife is such a wonderful devotee. So how it is not Krishna conscious? Intentionally, you want to be a pure devotee. Maybe you are already pure devotee, but intentionally you have that set. So intention when expand to buying a car or house, it is only part so that you can practice or offer Krishna better. So it is 100% Krishna conscious.
Oh, I've never ever had it explained it that way, Prabhu. Thank you so much. And we saw you being cold out there in the mornings. My Ras and I watched it.
That's funny. Because I had a idea Chicago is always colder than Alachua.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. Nice to be here.
Yeah.
Seeing
Thank you
in the Zoom.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Any other, or we can close here? Any other reflection? Bhima Prabhu is also here. Very nice. Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Pancha kalpa tarubheshya kripa sindhabheva Patitanam pavanibhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namo. Anantagari Vaishnavibinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Bhaktabinda ki jai.